In space, Major Collins tries to figure out what her boss wants her to do as the space station she is in begins to collapse. On TV, General Cowrie tells her to get out of there immediately, but then the lights go out and a scary creature lets out a chilling scream. Meanwhile, a boy named Alex is glued to the TV, watching NASA's latest rocket engine test live on multiple screens. Just then, his mother comes in and pleads with him to leave the room. Meanwhile, Dariush, a wealthy young man, says goodbye to his parents and his luxurious lifestyle as he sets off on an adventure. On the other hand, there's Jen, a girl flying alone to the United States. To get through security, she pays a guy to pretend to be her uncle. As soon as she lands and gets into a taxi, the girl tells the driver she's going to a camp called Rim of the World in Los Angeles. Alex is getting ready to reach his destination and is a bit startled when an ambulance rushes past his car. When he arrives at Rim of the World camp, he meets Logan, the camp leader, who teaches him a cool handshake. Later, Alex meets Conrado, who cracks jokes and flexes his muscles to show off his defined chest. Then he meets Jen and tries to talk to her in a way he thinks she would understand, but she doesn't even pay attention to him. At the camp, while Dariush waits in line, a very beautiful girl surprises him and asks him to put his cell phone in a box. He is completely speechless at her beauty, but manages to lie and say he left the phone at home, even though it's in his pocket. Meanwhile, Alex is caught singing a farewell song with his mother, which is super embarrassing since all the other kids are watching. Later, the nerd decides to go ziplining, even though he's afraid of heights. When he reaches the top of the platform, Dariush tries to talk to Jen. Jen no longer cares about him once they reach the top. Alex approaches the edge of the platform and suddenly realizes how high he is, which scares him. The instructor tries to calm him down, but he simply gives up and feels embarrassed by all the judging stares from the people around him. Soon, the nerd hears on TV that NASA has lost contact with the space station. The next day, everyone prepares for a trip to the lake, and Dariush joins the adults. He tries to stay in the adult's car, but gets kicked out by the driver. So, he goes to another car and starts pushing Alex to make more room. When Logan finally appears, he delivers the news that his license is suspended, which frightens everyone. After that, they arrive at the river and discover that the raft they wanted to use is full of trash. Then, Jen heads into the woods, and Alex, though a bit scared, decides to follow her. Moments later, he realizes he has strayed quite far from the other boys. Jen reaches a cliff where she can see the whole landscape. While checking out a flashy camp advertisement, Dariush comes out from behind the bushes and drags the nerd to the edge of a cliff, trying to help him overcome his fear of heights. But the poor boy starts to panic and scream. Out of nowhere, a teenager named Gabriel appears and tells the bully to let the other boy go. The nerd is thrown to the ground, and then the rich kid gets ready to fight Gabriel, but ends up taking a solid punch. After Alex's hero helps him to his feet, Jen reunites with the boys. Dariush checks his cell phone and sees that a state of emergency has been declared, telling people to stay away from the city and not to approach a mysterious ship. They decide to search for the other kids, but when they arrive at the lake, they discover that everyone has disappeared. At the same time, more explosions and planes begin to appear in the sky. The cell phones stop working, and besides that, the forest is home to some dangerous animals, like black bears, and they wouldn't be able to protect themselves. After a while, the young people finally reach the camp, but it's empty. There was only a note saying everyone else had gone down the mountain. However, Conrado was still there, but he was unconscious. They enter one of the camp facilities, and they realize that there is no sign of power anywhere. Alex suggests that there may have been a nuclear explosion in the atmosphere, which could explain why all electronics, and even the cars, stopped working. Suddenly, there's another explosion outside, and everyone runs to see what's happening. They look up and see a fighter jet, an F-22 Raptor firing at ovines. Out of nowhere, several other planes appear, shooting at each other and hitting everything in sight. One of the shots comes very close to the children, and they are thrown back by the explosion. An unknown ship approaches closer, and when it lands, everyone falls again. At the same time, Gabriel leans in to touch the space capsule and burns his hand because the metal is still hot from re-entry into the atmosphere. At this moment, the girl grabs a water bottle and hands it to Gabriel, who pours it on the capsule door. Just then, the rich kid runs to the front of the aircraft to prevent anyone from opening it, but the door is ripped off the capsule with a jolt, sending the young man flying away. After a while, Major Collins emerges from the capsule. She was supposed to go to NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory to deliver a key to Dr. Fielding, but she is injured and cannot go, so she hands the mission to the children. Just seconds later, a strange creature with multiple arms appears behind the capsule and begins to approach them. They need to get out quickly, failing to prevent the astronaut from being attacked by the bizarre creature. Looking back, Alex sees that another creature resembling a dog is coming out of the giant. They manage to enter the camp's lodge, but the monster continues to chase them. While hiding in the kitchen, another creature silently approaches them. They try to escape, but this time, Alex almost gets caught by the alien. Just then, Dariush accidentally knocks over some things, making a loud noise that draws the monster's attention. It starts chasing the boy through the kitchen, dodging all the equipment. Nothing could stop the monster as it approached and cornered them. The kids are pressed against the wall, and then it starts moving towards them. But they crouch just in time, and it ends up colliding with some kind of cupboard. A little later, another giant alien appears, causing the children to run out of the house. Even so, the creature tears its enormous claws through the wall, almost hitting Alex outside in the yard. Gabriel and Dariush are hiding under a staircase, but are terrified when they realize the alien is passing right above them. Meanwhile, Alex and Jen end up in a nearby bathroom. They are making noise to attract the monster, and the girl quickly thinks of hiding in the sewage, even though it is disgusting and dirty. The other two leave their hiding place and notice a strange dog moving through the pipes of the house, getting close to finding them. Meanwhile, in the bathroom, the kids stumble upon Conrad doing his business, completely oblivious to the danger about to hit. Just then, the thirsty alien attacks him out of nowhere, and Gabriel and his friend run towards the capsule as the creature approaches. They are moving faster and faster, but luckily they manage to close the door, keeping the danger outside. Suddenly, Alex and Jen appear from outside the aircraft, asking to open the door, completely unaware that the monster is right behind them. The two run around the capsule, but the dog finds them and jumps on them, only to be shot by some kind of laser fired by the kids inside the spaceship. But then the other alien appeared again, grabbed them, and pinned them to the ground while the monster spat out a black liquid. Dariush was in a tight spot, but fortunately, a soldier appeared and shot the beast. Everyone gets up and runs away except for the rich kid, who completely loses control and starts insulting the others. Jen intervenes, slaps him, and finally gives a motivational speech explaining what they need to do next. The group finds out that the NASA lab is in Pasadena, which is about 112 kilometers from the forest. Realizing it would be a long walk, they decide to go to a police station and ask for help with the mission. After everyone grabs their bikes, Alex admits he can't keep up because he never learned to ride. The younger ones don't want to leave him behind, so they hit the road to teach him. The alien is injured and realizes its baby has been defeated. When the kids arrive at the police station, Gabriel offers to watch the bikes outside. Inside the building, Dariush finds a note saying a nuclear strike on Los Angeles has been authorized and that Europe and Asia have already been destroyed. Now the authorities are trying to locate the source of the extraterrestrial energy. At the same time, the nerd enters the police station and finds a prisoner in the cell, a man named Lou, who asks the young people to let him go. The group starts voting on what to do with the criminal, with Alex casting the deciding vote. The boy decides to let the individual out, asking him to leave only after the kids have left the place. As they bike down the street, the group is surprised by several military vehicles. Suddenly, soldiers appear pointing weapons at them. The commander states that the area is not safe, but Alex hands the key to the guy who admits to receiving Morse code messages from Dr. Fielding. They then take a bus to evacuate the area. However, the city starts being attacked by various shots hitting the vehicle hard. After leaving the damaged bus, the youths realize that there are several spaceships in the sky shooting at each other. Furthermore, alien dogs are running across the surface of the Earth, attacking everyone. Further on, the group finds the captain of the soldiers trapped under rubble. He states he will not make it out alive and returns the key to the kids. At that moment, the area is hit by even more powerful shots, causing an explosion, but the children manage to escape in time. Discussing their next step, the young people conclude that they need to find something to eat and rest before walking 60 kilometers to reach the lab. Gabriel claims his home is nearby, but that it hasn't been home for a while. He reveals the whole truth to the others, that he was in the forest because he was arrested, and even if he finds his mother, she doesn't want to see him. Later, they eat at the young prisoner's house, who reveals he was arrested for giving the wrong change to a customer while working, which made the man accuse him of theft, which panicked him, and he attacked the guy. Before sleeping, the group prepares for the night, and Alex is forced to share a bed with the girl, which makes her very happy. During the night, they are awakened by a strange noise outside. Everyone prepares to leave the place stealthily. They walk between the sheets hanging in the yard, but do not notice armed men wearing bizarre masks watching them. One of the guys takes off the mask, revealing the face of Lou, the man they freed from his cell in the police station. At this moment, the children are thankful to find someone they know, and Lou happily says he doesn't intend to hurt the young people, but they have to hand over the key to the lab because it could be worth a lot of money. Alex insists that he won't give him anything, so Lou pulls a knife from his pocket and threatens to cut him. Suddenly, one of the aliens appears and violently attacks the people, quickly destroying them. The boys try to get through the gate, but Gabriel falls behind. He asks Jen to throw the light he will use to divert the monster's attention toward the pool. At that moment, the Terralin cannot bear the weight of the giant, causing him to sink in the water. After defeating the alien during the night, the group of friends gets closer and closer to the lab, but they enter into an endless argument because Darius blames Alex for freeing the villain from prison. Gabriel gets involved in the fight, and the two roll on the ground. After Jen separates the fighters, the young people make up. Meanwhile, elsewhere, the previously defeated animal rises again, ready to hunt. In a mall in the city, the girl confesses to Alex that she traveled to the United States because her father didn't want her as a daughter, and shows that she is happy to have met her new friends. After leaving the establishment, they find a 1973 Ford Mustang Mach. The electromagnetic pulse does not affect old cars, which drives the boys crazy. Jen accelerates and leaves the parking lot, making the car tires screech. During the journey, they are caught by the bizarre creature that suddenly appears on top of the vehicle. The monster manages to put its claws inside the car, but the driver steers the wheel into a bus stop, causing the creature to fall. As the youths celebrate their victory, the alien returns. At this moment, Jen has the idea for everyone to jump from the moving car. Shortly after, the car falls from the overpass, and the alien is smashed by the impact. However, Alex confesses that the key is not with him, and that it may have been left inside the car. Faced with this situation, Darius decides to take the risk and go down to where the vehicle is, even knowing that the monster might still be alive. As he approaches the car, the young man realizes that the creature is still breathing, so he sneaks into the car trying to find the key while searching all the compartments of the vehicle. Darius ends up turning on the sound system, but the key also falls into his hands. As he exits the car, he doesn't notice that the animal is starting to rise. Even with his friends trying to warn him, he then gets a huge scare that almost makes him pass out. The boy crawls back into the car, but soon manages to escape to where his companions are. After a few more kilometers, the young people come across the NASA lab. Inside, they realize that everything is in ruins, so they run to find Dr. Fielding, but find the man already lifeless. The group decides to split up, and each search for their family before leaving the location. Alex notices that Jen has nowhere to go, so all the others become emotional and return to the same place where they said goodbye earlier. Suddenly, the young people hear a voice coming from somewhere and come across General Cowrie on a video call, asking about the status of the scientists, discovering that they have all been destroyed. The man says that the kids will not be able to do anything with the key, and that they must leave the location immediately. However, the nerd insists on doing something to stop the aliens, so the general sends one of them down to the basement to turn on the emergency generators. Jen decides to accept the mission. Then Alex gives her a watch as a gift and receives a kiss as thanks. Furthermore, the boys need to activate an X-ray laser that they will use to defeat the invading beings. The key contains the coordinates of the alien mothership that is orbiting Earth. However, before they can do anything, they need to realign the satellite on the roof and find a computer to retrieve the coordinates. Alex decides to climb onto the roof to solve the satellite problem, even though he is afraid of heights. Meanwhile, the alien that was hit by the car manages to escape the wreckage. Even though half of its body is trapped between the debris, it regenerates easily. In the lab's basement, Jen manages to get out of the pipes and is startled to find an unconscious woman. Alex also faces a challenge upon realizing that the tower he needs to climb is taller than he imagined. The girl finds the switches and activates them in the order the commander explained. After that, Gabriel checks the computers and inserts the key. Now, they need to wait for the satellite to align so they can activate the weapon. However, the abominable creature appears on the roof and begins to climb the tower, chasing Alex. He quickly adjusts the satellite, and upon reaching the top of the tower, the boy grabs a cable and descends as if on a zip line, managing to escape the monster behind him. In the basement, Jen opens the wrong door and ends up releasing a dog alien that was trapped. The animal ferociously attacks an injured woman on the floor, while the girl tries to leave the location quietly. However, Gabriel reports over the radio that Dariush has begun to feel ill, causing the monster to sense Jen's presence, who runs to a vault in the facilities and slams the door shut with all her strength, ripping off the creature's paw that was about to reach her. In the control room, the boys receive the code from General Cowrie, but Gabriel cannot remember the sequence and enters the wrong numbers several times. Fortunately, Dariush momentarily regains consciousness and writes the numbers down for him. Even so, 2 people are needed to activate the devices and start the computer, and Gabriel realizes his partner is fainting again. However, Jen manages to arrive at the location, and the 2 prepare to initiate the programming, but they are interrupted by the giant alien. They scream in their corner, and Alex shows up, drawing the monster's attention, which runs toward him. In response, the other youths hurry to start the weapon, making the satellites align. The boys celebrate, but they need to get out of there as quickly as possible. At the same time, the nerd enters a dangerous room containing flammable substances. He turns on one of the devices, hoping the creature will come into the place, and when the animal approaches, the boy uses a flare to hit one of the machines, causing an explosion that hits his enemy with force. As the flames surround the room, Alex starts to remember an accident from his past, but he still manages to find the courage to cross the fire and exit the room. Outside the lab, the group of friends mourns the loss of their companion while watching the building collapse into ashes. Suddenly, the nerd emerges from inside the building, and everyone runs to hug him. In the sky, an explosion erupts as the alien ship is completely destroyed. After that, Alex receives a kiss from Jen, and everyone celebrates their victory in saving the world.